Hello YouTube. I just thought I'd pop on here. I need to clarify some things ahead of time, just in case any of my videos do get misconstrued. Um, when I mean the Port Authority in Heath, I'm not talking about like a place where container ships go in. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm not referring to that. Like the one in New York, that's a actual port authority. When I mean port authority here in Licking County, what I'm referring to as the port authority is the old Newark Air Force Base. So let me clarify what I mean by not going down there. I needed to wait, which I got, like I said in the video, I endorsed a mayoral candidate verbally. Let me refer to you what I mean by the Port Authority, what it is, and what its purpose is for the Newark Heath Port Authority up there in the Newark Heath Airport area. So let's go back in time to May of 1995. The U.S. Air Force transferred ownership of the of the facility to the Port Authority on, I do believe, May 18th of 1995. That is over 30 years ago, approximately over 30 years ago. It'll be 30 years as of this May. What the Port Authority is a leasing, commercial leasing slash government agency. Usually they don't have their own police cruisers out there like the port authorities in New York or wherever. The current jurisdiction that handles any calls at the Port Authority is either the Licking County Sheriff's Office or the Heath Police Department on usual time. They do have an off-duty or pseudo security guard. He is not the one that does the arrest if there's an arrest. He's not the one that will hold you. Now he can take you. He could do a civil or civilian arrest, like where a civilian can hold someone until the police come. Now, just a word of advice: the holding cell that's at the Port Authority is not on Port Authority property, and it's just in a house. Which is oddly enough, that's what the county has had for years. The house is at the corner of Thornwood and Beaver Run Road in Heath. That's where the holding cell is / where the camera is usually at. Right now the camera does not show a feed at all at that location, but if you were ever caught down there or wherever, you probably went into the house where the holding cell is. The holding cell is in the basement of the house. It is a house that they use for security. It's like a security outpost, basically like a guard shack in a way, or shanty, or whatever you want to call it. It's a guard shack. Now they have the officer. It's up to the security officer. Two things that could happen. One of them being you could go to jail, like I've been saying in my past videos. The other thing is you could just be held there if you're a juvenile until your parents come pick you up. If you're a kid watching my channel, which you better not be a kid because I don't want to get in trouble. But back to what the Port Authority is. It's a governmental leasing agency formed in 1995, the year I was born. There is a gray area. It is a pseudo military base, according to what I've heard from the county engineer. It's not a military base where you see Army personnel, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. You won't see those there. They're only subcontractors for the government, like Boeing. I'm reiterating what I mean by Port Authority. It is just a commercial leasing and development agency that has ties with the federal government here in the area. You probably are aware of, like, in New York City, there's the New York Port Authority. That's the same thing, but except our Port Authority does not have 24/7 security. There's not 24/7 security, so like through a private contractor or the security officer. They're maintained by the Heath Police Department, and their duties is to protect that area if there's anything that happened. Like, for example, what happened a few years ago when which I don't mean to get political, but when the Israeli and Palestine war happened, there's a group of people who went down to Boeing and protested, which was actually on WBNS TV and WNCO and T100. Um, I did see that morning when that happened, the Port Authority rotated the camera away from it so that people wouldn't be able to see. The reason why I posted the video about the Port Authority when I did was just to warn rail fans. Well, now I have to expand that because of what happened with the protest at the airport and Port Authority. Back, I do believe it was last year, matter of fact, back last year on October 6th. I think it was in October or December, October or December of last year. An Ohio Central NHL crew was just leaving the Port Authority when the incident took place. Little did I know that possibly there could have been rail fans in the mix in that. I'm not saying there was, but there could have been rail fans in the mix of that. And if they were, I do condemn those who, if they were rail fans who were up there that morning when the protest happened. Several people were booked into jail for federal charges. Some were also, they chained themselves to the fence that morning. But let me go back to this. When I mean the Port Authority, I'm talking about that landmass, which is from the CNN sub on the Ohio Central line all the way down to Hebron into the industrial park. That is all Port Authority property. Now, I'm not saying that filming on 79 is illegal. I'm not saying filming at Irving Wick is 100% illegal. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that those who are going down there and filming are going there and possibly causing traffic issues or causing the train to be late because they have to worry about you guys or you watching them and doing something wrong if you do. I'm not saying you guys would, my viewers, but I'm saying if you do commit a crime, then that. But I was talking to someone a month ago. It would be a month ago this 3rd of October. Someone that's in the medical field said she said when she flew out of state she had to have a starting license, but there's a way you get around. She gave me the idea. There's a way you get around from having a starting license to have a passport on you at all times when you're on Port Authority property. Now, I'm not saying you guys go rush to the post office and get a passport. I'm not saying that. Don't do that because you could be doing it for the wrong reasons or jumping the gun and getting that thinking you're going to be on Port Authority property. That's not going to happen. So if you guys are wondering, what I mean by a star on your license, federal ID, that's what I originally thought. Well, recent developments have come out that going down James Parkway is not illegal unless you are at the rear or Boeing underneath. That's where the gray area happens. So I'm not saying you could not film a train there. I'm not saying, I was saying that before, but I need to clarify. You could film there. Don't hang around. I've said that in previous videos that people are hanging around the airport and this, that, and the other. Well, with this being said, you're not going to go to federal jail. You're not going to go to federal prison if you are spotted down there. You may go to jail for the night or however long they want to keep you after a judge sees the case. But the best bet is do not go down there. I'm just warning you guys, don't go down there. If you're thinking the NHL is going to run on Friday evening, don't go down there because you're probably not going to see a judge until Monday at the latest or the earliest. And just so you're aware, I'm not saying you can't go driving down there, because there's a brewery down there. There's a brewery down there, and there is James Parkway is basically an alternate route to get down from Irving Wick down to 79 in Hebron. That's okay to drive down there. You won't be pulled over, but if you go behind the fence is what I'm referring to. Behind the fence, or if you're going to Ashland Road, which is right there, Irving Wick and Airspace in Ashland, that's a no-go. There was a video on here on YouTube that was removed. Thank God I helped the person because I was worried that they would go to jail. Well, they ended up going to jail anyway, possibly. I don't know. Been hearing rumors that they were put in jail for it, but I'm not gonna figure out that because I'm not going to. I'm just gonna say the Port Authority there's multiple different terms for Port Authority. How we word it in Licking County, Ohio, is the Port Authority is just a leasing and development agency for Licking County government. They're not like the New York Port Authority where they have their own police force. Now, ours does have a security officer, but that's it. So I just thought I'd pop on here and say I do apologize for any confusion when I was referring to the Port Authority. Now, the address of the Port Authority is 851 West, or Irving Wick Drive West is actually where the Port Authority is. Now, you can't go there for public meetings. There is the usual monthly meeting for the Port Authority from the board members. You must show your ID or driver's license going into the building. Same thing with going to the Newark Airport meetings for the board. You must show your ID. It's not like going to city council or a fire district board or township thing. You must show your ID. So I just thought I'd clarify what the Port Authority is. It's a leasing and development organization, not a federal agency to some degree. I just thought I'd refer what Port Authority is in our county. So I just thought I'd pop on here and say that. And if you watched my last video, I seen the first Ohio Central Triclops, the 3892, which is Buffalo and Pittsburgh 3892. So I just pop on here and say hi. And you have a safe day, safe travels, wherever you're going. And Tower 1 out. Peace, Tower 1 out.